Not in my house, baby. That's my policy. Ha ha. Oh.
Let's be best friends.
Welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know and trying to convince them to be my best friends, because in times like these, who needs enemies? My guest today is a lovely man, a comedian who's been featured on JFL and MTV, Mr. Al Val. How you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah.
Woo, yeah!
I'm good, man. How are you, Cole?
You know, I'm doing good. We had a bit of technical difficulties at the start, but I'm just glad to be getting everything off the ground.
Yeah, we've been sitting here for 3 hours and we still barely know each other.
It's true. It's true.
But I do know I'm willing to be your best friend. The position is still, if this position is still open.
It is still available to be filled?
Great.
All right, awesome.
Excellent.
So, Larry King always said the 5 questions that need to be answered in any interview are who, what, where, when, and why. So I like to start there. So tell me who you are.
I'm Al Val. I'm a comedian. I'm a fun guy. I love the game of basketball. There's got to be more questions you got to ask me if you want to know the whole spiel.
Okay, so what do you do? So we know you're a comedian. What else do you do? I've seen a bit on your social media. You play guitar. You a musician, or just kind of like a hobby thing?
Yeah, hobby thing. I mean, I got a side project where myself and another comedian, Velvet Wells, we do like improv rock and roll.
Okay.
Where I come up with a tune on the spot and he sings based on audience suggestions. So like amateur musician at best.
Okay, so would you say that most of the stuff you do on the side is kind of to help fuel the comedy thing, like that's the improv comedy?
Fuel the comedy thing as a side project, and you know, it's a what is it called? Project, a labor of love, a hobby on the, not a hobby because that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Because we still get paid every once in a while. But so it makes me happy. It's a cool thing on this side.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Is getting paid for things you love.
Yeah. I'm gender fluid, so I fuck around with, you know, wigs and makeup and shit.
So do you do like drag as a performance, or is it just something you kind of enjoy doing? It makes you feel good.
Same as the guitar, it makes me feel good. It's something I enjoy doing. That's why I'm careful not to call it drag. Like I'm not the type to get offended on semantics or whatever. You can call it whatever you want. But like, technically, if you get down to it, like I've been cross-dressing since I was a teen, and I repressed it and didn't tell anybody, and now it's just something that I'm doing a lot more out in the open. It's just a part of me. It's just fun. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Do you find it's easier? I mean, obviously it's easier now in like today's climate because it's a little bit more accepted. But do you find it's easier now that you're kind of in the arts circle and obviously like a little older, you have those more solid connections with people?
For sure.
Yeah.
At this point, I've built enough solid relationships with people that if they abandoned me, then it would really reflect on not only what a piece of shit they are, but my own judgment in people's character. So It's good. The way everybody reacted when I came out has only confirmed my judge of character and their virtueness.
Cool.
Their character.
Virtuosity, I think?
That word. Yeah. Their virtuosity. They're all virtuosos.
So where was your first show? Do you remember?
Man, Rockwater Barbecue and Grill in London, Ontario.
Man,
October 17th, 2006, I think.
I love comedians because they always remember, like comedians, rock stars, they always remember exactly those kind of details. I love that.
Yeah.
Did you say 2006?
2006, man.
Good Lord. So you've been doing this a long time. So that's what, 14 years?
Coming on, yeah, just about, almost 13 and a half. Yeah.
So you started there. So I mean, we mentioned your credits, JFL, CBC, MTV. So when did that start for you? Because I know comedy's kind of a grind.
Sorry?
Comedy's kind of a grind, I said.
Yeah, for sure. So when you say when did that start? You mean like when did I get my start, or when did the credits start?
When it
Kind
like
of.
so you started in 2006. So take me through it a little bit. So you started in 2006, right? And I'm assuming bar and grill, like the smaller clubs, open mic stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So when does it start picking up? You start getting like booked gigs, these big things like JFL.
Um, I'm a late bloomer, man. That's why if anybody can attest to being patient in comedy and waiting for and just plugging away and grinding, I feel like it's me. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I was getting paid gigs maybe like with some regularity like 5 years in, and even then it wasn't enough to sustain myself for a
Right.
really, really, really long time. And then like really honestly, my career was doing okay, and then I came out and then it took off, which is a point of insecurity for me, to be completely honest, because it's like, as soon as I threw on a wig and a dress, I became interesting to a
Right.
lot of people. So it kind of feels a bit superfluous and shallow, and I'm cautious about this new fan base, dare I say, that I've acquired, because it feels a little bit, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. A lot of people
Yeah.
are like, no, sure, maybe it's a doorway into people noticing you. Sure, it's a visual. You got visual appeal when you do drag, but like, I don't know. I just worry that.
You don't want that to be like your whole identity.
Yeah. I want it to be my ideas that really that carry my longevity, but we'll see.
It's
But the point is, like, things really exploded for me as soon as I came out. A lot of avenues opened up, a lot of LGBT shows, and I became interesting overnight.
I mean, it's better than the opposite for sure, but
Yeah, that is true.
I totally get it because like I've heard a lot of people like that. Your career either takes off or it nosedives after you come out as anything, whether it's being trans, gay, bi, whatever. Like we're a little lucky. Or at least I noticed in the Toronto community that there's such a strong LGBT community in there,
Yeah.
hosting shows for those kinds of people. So last one, why do you do the things that you do? So I guess to expand on it, like, so what draws you to performance? Because it seems like you're just a performer through and through.
Yeah. Uh, a few elements. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a desperate need for validation. It wasn't this void in my soul and my self-esteem, the need to be liked,
Mm-hmm.
because it pervades a lot of aspects of my life, just needing to be approved of and liked by people. That's why it took me so long to come out, because I was terrified that people would call me a freak and disown me, and I would just be ostracized. But yeah, so validation is a huge part of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, all performers have egos, right? Like you don't get on a stage unless you want people to clap for you. I think I don't remember who said that, but I think that's like such a good quote.
Yeah.
All right,
sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say? This is your platform, brother.
I keep interrupting. I feel bad. Go for it.
No, there's no.
Finish the thought. Finish the thought.
I don't remember what the thought was anymore.
How are we gonna be friends if we're arguing within 10 fucking minutes, man?
This is every friendship I have. I'll be honest with you. And
Yeah,
any
it
friend I've
just
ever
breaks
had,
down.
it comes down to this. It's just us interrupting each other and then screaming at each other about it. All right, so we're going to get into the show here. We're going to get into the main meat and potatoes. I always want to ask the guests what makes them choose the thing that we do while we're talking. You chose Rocket League, which is a really cool game. I've never gotten a chance to play it until I started playing it in preparation for this. Watched it a long time. Obviously, there's a bit of an esports scene around it. So what makes you choose Rocket League?
Oh, it's super fun. I love sports. It has an element of that. I don't know how far that really carries, but it's a really fun game, and it's an online game. It's a cool game that you can play with friends. It involves a lot of cooperation, and it's exciting. It's satisfying. Like we were talking about before we started airing, like the feeling of making an epic save off the line or scoring a goal is just, it's a game you can play in bite sizes. The games are 5 minutes long, so it's addicting that way. You can play online, it's great. It's a good game.
That's the best part about this new wave of online games is that they're so like bite sized. like before online games, like I don't know how long you've been I don't know if you're like a gamer or anything, but like back in the day with like StarCraft and stuff, games could take like an hour, and you just have to sit there. Like even if you're losing, you just have to sit there and like keep playing. Whereas these new games are like, you know, fighting games and things like this are 5-minute rounds. You can just queue in, queue out.
Yeah, I think that's so key.
Okay, cool. So, actually, really quick, how long would you consider yourself like a gamer or anything like that? You say you're into sports. We were talking about some of the sports you did when you were a kid, which I do want to get back to because I'm also I'm a sports guy, and I find a lot of times in comedy and in art circles, a lot of people aren't into sports, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, couldn't care less. It's so hard. A lot of my friends, my best friends, don't give a shit. Couldn't give less of a shit about sports.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like the Super Bowl comes around. I'm like, hey guys, like I want to watch the Super Bowl, or I want to watch like the Grey Cup. I'm a football guy. I'm like, oh, let's get together. Let's watch some football. My roommates don't give a shit. My circle of friends don't give a shit. I have one friend, and he's a Lions fan, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do with all this?
yeah, that's even worse.
Oh, so what's your favorite sport?
Soccer.
You're a soccer guy? Are you a league guy or a cup guy, like a World Cup guy?
I mean, it intensifies during the World Cup, but and it's hard to follow leagues in Canada. Like it's just hard to get access to. You can't really get that close. You really have to go out of your way to find matches and shit, and then the time difference. But over the course of this past year, especially, I've gotten a lot more into Premier League. Okay. And Champions League is always awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm a mix of both.
Who's your team?
My team is Brighton and Hove Albion. Okay.
I love it.
Man. I love announcing it because like nobody is a fan of that team. That's kind of why I picked them because I don't know.
I choose an underdog.
Yeah, I started playing FIFA 12 or something, and I wanted to create a character to start from like a grassroots, like an underdog organization. Mm-hmm. And I picked the team with the coolest jerseys that I like with my favorite colors. And lo and behold, like 7 years later, they're in the Premier League. So fuck yeah, go Brighton and Hove Albion.
That's the best. I feel like that's why people choose. Like when I was a kid, I don't know if you had this, but when I was a kid, we played a lot of road hockey, and so you had to choose a hockey team that you liked and start wearing the jerseys. So I chose Calgary Flames because it had a giant flaming C, and I was like, that works for me. That's perfect for me. All right, hell yeah. And when I was a kid, they were really good because they had Drew McGinley, and I don't watch hockey at all. But then now they've just started to suck again. Yeah. So every time like hockey's on in a bar or something and people are cheering, and I'm just like, oh, the Flames will do good this year, I feel like. And I just I think they'll do good. They'll get to the cup this year, I feel like. I don't know if they're going to win anything, but first round. I feel like first round. We'll get a draft pick. All right, let's get into the game here. Man, your car looks so much. I spent a little bit customizing mine.
Oh, okay. So I have multiple cars. So that one's called Fuck Bullet.
Okay.
And it's very simple, but this is usually my go-to.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty elegant, simple. You know, I like that kind of shit. And then this is my extra car. It's my pride car.
Oh, I love it. I did honestly the same thing I do in every game that I was customizing. I went Team Canada. I went the red and white.
Oh, nice.
I just unlocked this random Mountie hat, and I put flames on it so it can go faster.
Yo, repping the country. Talk about pride.
Dude, I'm Team Canada until I die.
Two different kinds of pride.
I'm so down. And we got the same. And I chose the big bulky one. I don't know if it matters at all, if there's like hitboxes or something, but I was like, if I'm playing soccer, I'm gonna be the same as I played soccer when I was a kid. I'm gonna be a big fat dude in the goal.
Nice. There is a hitbox involved too, so I do love this car.
That's I saw all the little cars, and I was like, wouldn't you want to be big so you can hit the ball? I don't know.
Yeah, but some of them, like the pointy nose one that I have.
Yeah.
It's kind of harder to hit the ball square.
Oh, but then do you get like a better hit on it?
I think so. And if you're like flipping, you know, it's flat like a pancake, so you can get like the side hits a lot easier and shit like that.
I haven't mastered flipping yet. I just started understanding drifting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting, then I guess let's get a question out of the way. So this one, so I told you before, all the questions for the show I get from the internet, from common question starters, recommended by experts, which will help us grow and cultivate our friendship naturally.
Excellent.
So this one's from conversationstartersworld.com. I love these websites. What's the most annoying habit that people have? So what's the habit that other people have that bugs you the most?
Oh man, I'd say people who can't accurately self-reflect.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, that's the first. That answer comes to mind immediately.
Okay.
Like people who don't recognize their own hypocrisies or just are completely dumb to it. Ooh,
Nice.
kicking it off.
Beautiful.
Yeah, hypocrites who refuse to recognize and reflect and be
Okay.
like, oh, that's where I'm contradicting myself.
Do you think that comes from part of? We were talking a bit about your backstory a bit with being afraid of kind of, I guess, being yourself around people. Do you think that comes from that all stems together? You think?
Watch this. Oh no! Sorry, I smashed you into the net
It's
by
all good.
accident. I got cocky.
I'm playing support here, man. I'll be honest.
Okay, so sorry, I got distracted. What was the question again?
So you're talking about how your biggest pet peeve, I guess, is hypocrisy in people. Do you think part of that comes from the idea that you were like different, kinda, and we were talking earlier about how what's the proper word for it? Would it be because you said you don't like drag? I feel like cross-dressing is like a weird word for it.
Yeah,
feel like that's a not cool
it's more
word.
of a slur word, really.
Yeah, right. I'm
yeah,
still learning. I try so hard to be good about those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I talked about it on stage, I called myself a transvestite, and I got reamed out for it.
Really?
Which was interesting because, like, I get it. I now understand. Like, it is kind of it's an outdated, shitty word for it.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking ass. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but if this is what I'm calling myself and owning it, why is it such a big deal to other people, you know?
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of part of the whole identity is like, there's a lot of gay people who say like the F word and such like that, right?
Yeah.
So I always thought that was kind of part of the identity, I guess. I guess it's different for everyone though, right?
Yeah, totally.
Ooh.
But, it's an easy adjustment. If people say it's okay, if people say it's a bad word, then I won't use it anymore.
I'm with you. So okay, so what's your preferred word? Because I feel like this is gonna come up a lot. What do you want to call it? This is
Gender fluid. We'll call it that.
Gender fluid. Okay. So do you think your thing against your biggest pet peeve being people who are hypocritical or not able to self-analyze? Do you think part of that stems from being gender fluid and spending your life kind of seeking other people's approval for this thing that was kind of like abnormal?
Yeah, I think part of that, surely, but also the fact that me personally, I'm just a small touch off,
I
was
like
queuing myself up. I personally, to a fault, I tend to overthink. Oh my God, I'm so off today. I really hyperanalyze internal stuff about myself. I think in circles, which is probably also symptomatic of my whole like gender fluidity thing, that I'm like, I can't call it anything because I'm too afraid to, I'm too afraid to commit to anything. I toss it back and forth in my head. It's a million different things.
Interesting.
So, where was I going with that? This game is distracting me. So yeah, for somebody who thinks himself in circles to the point of paralysis,
right?
It bugs me that people won't even put in the minimal effort to just reflect on their own actions or something like that. Is that going in? That's going in, baby.
No way.
That's going in.
From downtown. Beautiful.
with the long bomb.
Oh, and this gets your name out there too, eh? This is good advertising.
Yeah,
Someone gets dunked
yeah.
on by Alval Comedy, and they're like, I gotta look this up.
The Alval Comedy?
The Alval Comedy is dunking on me in Rocket League?
So that makes sense, right? I didn't deviate too much.
No, that was perfect. I had a thought, and then I got distracted by how sick. My favorite part about this so far is that we're having this very cool introspective conversation while also screaming at a game of soccer. With cars. I think that's my favorite part about this so far.
Oh, give me that.
Plan D. All right.
Oh.
GG.
Okay.
Start off on a win. I'm a big fan of that.
Nice little warm up.
Nice warm up. Oh, what was that? That was cool. This game's tight.
Isn't it? I love this game. It's addictive too.
I could definitely see myself getting really addicted to this game. Oh, did I get MVP? Yeah.
Hey, boy. Yeah. You were saying League of Legends. I played Dota like a handful of times. Okay. One of my buddies has logged, I think, like 6,000 hours or something absolutely monstrous in that game. And I can't, like, games are sometimes 40 minutes long, and the learning curve is so nuts.
It is. It really is.
Like, I'm just getting dummied, and I don't know what's going on. It's all just lights and noise, and it's so frustrating. And, like, if you start to lose early, you're pretty much done. You catching up is the hardest thing. So it's just 40 minutes of agony.
I always was like that. I was never... Oh, you got that? Oh,
motherfucker.
Close. I was always like that, too, with specifically with League, because I had a bunch of friends in high school who liked playing League. And I wanted to play it, but, like, I just... I could never get into it for the exact same reason. And then I started living with the people I'm living with now, and they're like, I don't know, platinum, whatever, crazy high rank. And so they taught me all these like little tricks and things. And now it's like so much easier that like I start playing with random people online, and they are awful, and I'm just like, how do these people not know what to do? And then I'm like, oh god,
yeah,
I'm turning into a League of Legends player.
Oh, what a shot!
Oh,
the love tap.
Beautiful.
Oh,
gorgeous shot.
It's that little butt tap.
Little tap, little tippy tap. Beautiful.
And a deft touch.
A deft touch. I love soccer announcers, man. I think those are the hardest working people in sports.
They are. They're the best.
They're just going wild at all times.
Especially the Spanish ones are my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will say goal a million times. They'll be like, goal, 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 goal. They just don't stop. It's the best. Oh, no.
We're good. My favorite ones are when they're like gearing up to say it, because they're like, and then they miss, and they're like, and back to the game. You'd hear them calm down. Oh, you got blown up, and then you still scored. What an absolute legend.
I'm going to taunt him. What a save, what a save, what a save.
What a save. Oh, man. Okay. So I got another one. This one's from parade.com. It's what's the best thing you've ever bought online?
That was a gorgeous goal.
That was beautiful. Carried it across court. Oh, this dude's cussed in the chat. What a legend.
What's the best thing I bought online? That's a good question. I bought, I'm still waiting on it. I ordered it like a month and a half ago. A t-shirt that, do you remember off the top of your head the logo for the movie Aliens? Or Alien?
Yeah, like the green one, right? The green kind of eggy looking thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh my god, huge whiff. It was this t-shirt that somebody shared on Facebook that it was misspelled, so it said Alan.
Oh my god, that's the best shirt ever. I'm so upset I didn't get that goal.
Yeah.
What a line. Alan. I love shit like that.
It was hilarious. But it was intentional, right? So it says Alan at the top. And then I guess the tagline for the movie was like, in space, no one can hear you scream or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And so it says Alan at the top, and then underneath it says, "In space, no one can hear you in space." So I bought that T-shirt just because it made me laugh so hard.
I love shit like that. Facebook merch, things you got off Facebook are easily my favorite T-shirts.
Yeah.
I have one that I used to work at a Boston Pizza, and so when I quit, my dad got me a T-shirt off Facebook that was like, working at Boston Pizza is like riding a bike, except the bike's in hell or something. You know that quote where it's like, except you're on fire and everything's on fire because you're in hell?
Yeah.
It's a shirt that says that for Boston Pizza, because I guess it was like a targeted ad.
Very appropriate for working in the service industry.
Oh my god, yeah. And so my dad bought it for me as like a congratulations for leaving my shitty minimum wage kitchen job. Ooh, just a tap.
Oh my god. I can't believe that went in.
Just a tap.
So can I reverse these questions on you?
Sure, buddy. It's very fluid what we're doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, we're smooth like water right now. 5-0.
In there like swimwear.
There we go. Yeah, so what about you? What's the coolest thing funkiest thing that you've bought online?
I don't buy sorry about that. I don't buy a lot of stuff online. Ooh. I feel like I can like look around my room and I'll find it. Most of the stuff that I buy is very practical because I'm boring, so I buy like, mics and headphones and stuff. The best thing that someone ever bought me from online, I'll go with, is this shirt, and it's Wario and Waluigi, but they're drawn in this like really weird like art style, this like really weird kind of gross looking art style.
Yeah.
And it just says best friends with these like little hearts next to them, and they look just like the weirdest motherfuckers, and I love that shirt to death because I think it's adorable.
Nice. I need to see this. Send me a picture of your shirt.
I for sure will. It's such
because that sounds hilarious, and I love everything Wario and Waluigi.
Me too. I wish I was one of those guys when the new Smash Bros was coming out that I was like, this is the one, Waluigi, man. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like why wouldn't they?
Who knows?
It still baffles me. They introduce all these Fire Emblem characters that are like, who the fuck is Jake? You know?
Who the fuck is Jake?
But they can't. It's upsetting. The amount of times I've blown up these guys is kind of hilarious.
You're honestly carrying the whole game. I don't think I've done Ooh, what the hell did I just do? I was like, a barrel roll. That was crazy.
Oh man!
I think they're saving him. I think I'm in that tinfoil hat thing where I think they're saving him to be the last character. That's my tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna release all these weird third party things that no one gives a shit about, and then it's gonna be like Fighter Pass 4 Waluigi, and everyone's gonna lose their mind by the game.
I guess. Yeah. I mean that makes sense. It just.
Oh, I did it.
There you go. Hey. Like, why wouldn't they? I just don't understand the idea of waiting. Why wait?
I feel like maybe it's because people will like. So they had this big surge of people to buy the game, right? Because it's a new Smash Bros. So people are always going to want to play the new Smash Bros, right?
Right.
So they knew people would buy the game, so they can release whoever they want. So they put out all these like Joker and stuff to kind of what's the word? Like advertise these other games people might not be playing.
Oh right.
And then there's like a bit of a lull after that, right? So I think maybe they're hoping that there'll be like a big surge of people buying the game if they announce Waluigi. That's my guess.
To keep it relevant. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my thing. So, okay. This one's from Reader's Digest, which I can't believe that this was a headline. It was probably a slow news day. Zodiac signs, cool or crap? Are you a Zodiac guy?
Absolute garbage.
So, so you don't even read them like for fun at all? You're not even on that camp?
If I pick up a newspaper and I'm finished with all of it, that was going
I've done every Sudoku puzzle.
Yeah. Exactly, though. Once I've
read every
completed
comic,
everything,
I guess I'm a Leo.
it's just, oh man. And I have friends who, my favorite thing to do to people who start the horoscope, the zodiac conversation, as soon as somebody brings up, by the way, as soon as somebody brings up zodiac signs,
Yeah.
their credibility gone immediately in my mind. I'm like, everything you say from now on is absolute trash, and
Wow.
I don't believe a word of whatever you say. You just become an unscientific, unintellectual. I'm sorry if you have listeners who believe that shit sincerely, but seriously, go fuck yourself. Read a book.
I've rarely heard such vitriol towards it.
It's such a waste of time and energy. It's awful. My favorite thing to do to horoscopy people is when they're like, oh my God, what sign are you? And I'll just pick one. I'll be like, I'm a Sagittarius. And they'll be like, yeah, you're such a Sagittarius. And then I'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm a Leo. And then I'll pick another one. And they'll be like, oh, okay, lol, funny joke, but yeah, you're such a Leo. I'm like, I just picked another one at random, you dumbass. It's just annoying. They annoy me.
So where does the hatred for it come from?
I think you know what? This is it like goes back to my whole people who aren't able to self-reflect. Even though this isn't exactly self-reflection, it still counts as like, you're just think about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just because I was born in June, that makes me exactly like everyone else who was born in that month. Like, never mind birth order, never mind genetics, never mind my upbringing, never mind any of that stuff. I was born in June, therefore I'm a quiet person. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's just so dumb that's going in. No, it's not.
Can I get a little... I don't have any boost. I gotta get some boost. It is funny how it all like connects together again.
Woo! What's that?
I didn't even know what you were doing. I'm like over here trying to find boost. I'm getting my boost sniped. Okay, I just bye. It is interesting how it all connects together. I've never really thought of it like that. I'm not, I guess, like a horoscope kind of guy. Like, I don't read them every day, but I find it fun. First of all, I think it's just kind of like fun to do. Oh, did you just
I could have stopped that.
In? Like, because I'm with you that it's like that, where it's like, you know, just because you're born in July, everyone in July is like a cocky asshole. Yeah,
it's nonsense.
But I think it's fun only because most of the people I know are huge skeptics. Oh my God.
Same thing happened to them.
Tap, baby. Most of the people I know are huge skeptics. So I'll go to them with their horoscope and I'll be like, are you feeling like your relationships will be good today?
And it's just, I don't know. That's the other thing is like, it's, go, baby, go. Yeah, nice. Attaboy. Yeah. It's just people who will read like their horoscope and it'll be like, today you may feel sad, but you may feel happy. And today's a day of reflection, but also stay calm and don't reflect. You're like,
reflect. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, this is such middle of the road, non-committal. And people read that and they're like, oh my God, that's how me. Like, of course it is. It's written to be the most vague, dumb shit. Here we go. Pop.
Nice.
Give it a pop. Here we go. In the air. Oh.
Aww.
I'm working on my sky technique, my air ball. Nice.
Is that in?
Nice.
Aww.
I got it.
Pick up.
That's not going in.
I was so convinced that was going in. I stopped moving. God damn it.
Fuck.
My favorite part about horoscopes, honestly, is, so I'm a Leo, right?
Yeah.
And every single horoscope you ever read is like, you're so awesome, you're fucking great at sex, people think you're so funny, but also you're a bit of an asshole and stop talking over people. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. Hey, I'll take
all
that.
Right.
That's fine. And you read the other ones and it's like, Sagittarius, you're insecure and you might have acne. And I'm like, well, I'm not Sagittarius. So, so at least I got that going for me.
You're an adoptive Sag. I'm an adoptive Sag.
I'm an adoptive Sag.
Oh my God.
I feel more like a Sagittarius and a Leo, so I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I like your strategy of just picking one at random.
Yeah.
I feel like
I am.
I feel like a Pisces today.
I identify as a Pisces. I was born a Leo, but I identify as a Pisces. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is going in.
That's going in.
No.
Oh. What do you?
No.
I thought he was hitting it.
Attaboy.
For it. I thought he was.
Yeah, he friggin' blew it.
What a coward.
You blew it.
You blow it. You blew it all to hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. What do you find the split is in the comedy world between skeptics and people who believe? Because I find, honestly, before I was in the scene at all, I always just assumed all comedians were like, you know, mostly like liberal, kind of artsy people who kind of enjoyed making people laugh. Which is just a generalization, really, because there's all kinds of people, obviously. But I find the split's pretty even. I don't know about you.
I think there are a lot more left-leaning people, I would say, in the arts, easily. And in comedy, too, for sure. However, there are also, I mean, I guess left... Oh, babe. Oh, fuck. Left shit... What am I trying to say? If you're left on the spectrum, then you're also more likely to be, I feel like, non-religious, non-traditional, a little bit more of a cynic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's the feeling I get. And comics tend to be a little bit more insightful. So, you know, right-wingers aren't known to really think very deeply.
Do you think that comes from, like, because comedians are always looking for the next bit, right? Do you think it comes from that, or is there a different thing that you think that comes from?
From, like, being on a certain space on the political spectrum, you mean?
No, from being like more or less introspective and things like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think comedians by nature tend to be a little bit more observant.
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of comes with the territory. Like to have a strong enough opinion on something and fleshed out enough idea, you have to think a little. You have to observe and reflect on things on a different level than most people do.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just me being masturbatory, but
that's what interviews are all about. What we're basically doing is vocally jerking off into a camera while playing soccer cars.
That is actually really true. My favorite thing the other day, I'll ask you about Zoom shows too, because I'm curious what your experience has been. But I did a Zoom show once that it wasn't just comedy. It was artsy. It was like all this different shit, dance and all this whatever, poetry. And my favorite thing to do, just kind of mockingly, actually really mockingly, was over and over again in my set to be like, guys, what we're doing is so important right now. It's just so important. And I just kept using the word important because that's one thing that I hate about the arts is that everybody who claims that what we're doing is bigger than just us being like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. They're full of themselves.
Okay, so and that again, I guess goes back to the introspective and hypocritism things that, like, you know, if they took time, I guess, to kind of look at it and be like, yeah, we're really just, you know, clowns without the makeup, essentially.
Yeah. Boy, I feel like as this interview goes on, I'm finding out just what a angry asshole I am. But damn, I'm good at this game.
It all comes. It's the gamer fuel. That's the problem.
My bad. Yeah, it's the competitive spirit that's making me edgy right now.
I think the only time you've had anger was towards horoscopes. I think that's the only time you've exhibited anger, per se.
Yeah, that's true. I do have a very strong opinion of horoscopes, unreasonably.
Do you know what your horoscope is, out of curiosity?
Yeah, it's cancer.
Okay. Man, no wonder.
I know,
You're a
right?
skeptic.
Oh, man.
There was chasing after that guy.
I could have got around him.
So what do you think of the Zoom shows? We brought up the Zoom shows, or you brought up the Zoom shows. What do you think about them? How have you been finding them?
I think they're fun. I think they're a fun way to pass the time. It's a different sort of challenge. And this is the one thing about stand-up comics that I find a little close-minded, is that comics by nature are pretty puritanical, very purist, where they're like, this isn't stand-up, I refuse to do a Zoom show. Then it's like, all right, well, how are you spending your time then?
Yeah,
how are you getting better? Why, I feel like this is coming from somebody who, I've done a lot of weird shows, man. I've never really grown up in the clubs the way a lot of other comics have.
Okay.
I've like cut my teeth in shitty bars and weird small towns. So I'm a huge proponent of adapting and accepting things for what they are and adjusting to the situation. So this is just another adjustment for me. And if you don't evolve, you die. That's pretty much it.
Interesting. So you did the small town thing. So do you go to a lot of open mics? Are you an open mic kind of guy?
Not a lot, not as much anymore, but I still go to stay sharp, for sure.
Do you do it to test new stuff, or do you just keep doing the old stuff?
Definitely test new stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I used to have a policy of not in my house, baby. That's my policy. Ha ha. Oh, he thought he scored too. Nope.
You went straight. I love when you just take the ball and you go downtown with it. That's insane.
That was so satisfying. I used to have a really strict policy of like new material every time you go up. Damn. It doesn't have to be a full fresh 5 minutes, but like at least one new joke, one new tag. Keep it fresh.
So do you still do that, or?
Yeah, I mean at this point, you've seen my act, right? You've seen. Yeah. Oh God, I abandoned my post.
I've seen you, I think 2 or 3 times.
And you see me. I tend to wing a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I like to stay present. I'll say that. So that's kind of, that policy still stands, where it's like, if I'm not enjoying it, if I'm not improvising, if I'm not in my house, that was actually pretty sick though. Then like it loses its edge for me. It loses its fun if I'm not improvising, if I'm not exploring, having fun, winging it.
Okay. So what do you think, what's your, I guess, ideal split between winging it and stuff you've been doing for a long time? Practice material, I guess.
It'll depend on like a professional decision, I'll say. Okay. Like if I'm, son of a fucking bitch.
30 seconds to do this.
He popped me. Look at this. I lined it up to try and intercept, but nah. If I got like a big show coming up, a showcase or a festival or something like that, then, hey, there we go. Just walk it in.
Just walk it in. Tap it in.
Then I will have to stay mindful of, not fucking around. I should have given you that. I'm kind of hogging it at this point.
No. Listen, carry me, buddy.
I'm really hogging the ball.
No, listen. I'm like the rest of the Lakers, and you're LeBron James. I'm chill.
Not in my house.
I'm cool. The rest. Listen, when the Lakers sign LeBron, the rest of the team knows how the game's gonna go. I'm a team player. See, I slowed down? I'm a team player, man.
You slowed down.
I'm good. I hit the brakes. I was like, he's got this one. So explain so to the people who might not be as wise to the comedy scene, explain how like a showcase or a festival works. In terms
Okay,
of,
so
like,
yeah.
how do you get scouted? How do you prepare? Stuff like that.
Showcases are essentially auditions, a live audition. So whoever may be there, like a club owner, a festival booker, whoever, anybody, any gatekeeper, I'll say, will see what you've got. And in those situations, that is when you have to prove that you can do a tight, what's called a tight, X amount of time.
Okay.
That is predetermined. They'll say, do 7 minutes of your best material to book a show on this, an episode on some CBC stand-up thing.
Okay.
So that's the difference between a showcase and a regular set.
Okay.
Like, you're still given a specified amount of time, but showcases, it's way more important to stick to that time because they're taking a lot of things into consideration, like TV.
Right. Yeah, you can't go over if you're doing like CBC or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your first showcase was?
Oh man. Oh yeah. It was JFL showcase, Just for Laughs, at Comedy Bar.
Ooh, okay.
And it was like 10 years in. I didn't get my first showcase until like, it would have been 3 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
fuck it. If any comedians are listening, like, be patient with yourself. God damn. It took me 13 years to become a semi-professional.
are you at the point where comedy pays the bills, or are you still working there?
Almost entirely, yeah.
Nice.
I still take some shifts at a bar, or I did until shit hit the fan.
Right, Avi.
But that was more just, it was still a safety net I was keeping for myself kind of thing.
Oh, is there no one here? Oh, there's a guy there. I was like, where's everybody? Okay, well hey, congratulations, buddy. Living the dream.
Thanks. Out of my face.
So, speaking of showcases and things, so we talked a bit before when we were setting this up. Tell me about New Wave of Standup. That was the thing you said you wanted to talk about. What is it?
It is a new series on CBC's streaming service, CBC Gem, which I think is on Crave, I've been told, I believe. And clear that. I'm just going to clear the ball, and you try and give it a go.
Oh, this is what a
How's that?
idea.
I'll try it. I won't hog it.
Okay. So I'll focus in, and then you tell me about this new show. Okay.
CBC Gem, their streaming service, I think on Crave, I believe. And it was filmed at JFL Northwest in Vancouver. And it's sick. It's like they do a pre-interview, we do our 10 minutes, and then they do a post-interview. And I think everybody's, oh, there we go. Here we go.
Take it. Go, go, go.
Well.
Beautiful.
Let's just walk it down the field. Just walking the dog. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out July 17th.
July 17th.
And I just found out today, actually, I got an email that they're also going to be playing it on CBC's cable, CBC TV.
No way!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Well, damn. What an exclusive scoop.
Yeah, right?
Right here on Let's Be Best Friends.
You heard it here first.
Damn, very cool.
Yeah,
so July 17th, that's coming out. So it's like a comedy show with little interview parts, basically, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hey, there it is. Attaboy, Cole.
Ah.
Hey, where did the name OldKingCake come from?
Okay, it's actually a funny story. So basically, when I went to college for broadcasting, which is how I got all these beautiful skills that I am using today. So when we were on campus, they had a radio station, which is the main reason I went there. Durham College, go Lords. And, oh shit. So, when they had a radio station on campus, and I was like, first thing I did, I think it was like the second or third day I was there, I signed up for a show. And me and two other guys signed up to do a wrestling show on
A wrestling show.
Yeah, we were doing like a wrestling, like a weekly catch-up show. I don't remember. I think it was called Riot Wrestling. And it was me and 2 or 3 other guys. Anyway, the show ended up going like crazy south. It was a catastrophe. But me and one of the guys who did it ended up being really close friends. So we were like, still want to do a show. Oh, shit!
That was my fault.
Oh no, I mean, listen. I think both of us had a pretty solid chance of not shitting the bed there.
Yeah. we both knocked it in together.
So me and one of the guys became really close, and we were like, well, we still want to do a show. And so we went to an independent wrestling show in Oshawa. And while we were there, we were like, wouldn't it be funny if... We were trying to think of a name for the show, and we were like, wouldn't it be funny if in the middle of a professional wrestling show, they just had, like, cake come out? Like, someone just came out with cake for the fans. And then I can't remember if it was he said it or I said it, but he was like, oh yeah, it'd be like Cake and Violence. And I was like, that's such a fucking amazing name for a show. So
I really dig that. So
he became Tyler Violence, and I became Cole Cake was our stage names. And then online I'd always done the Old King thing because of Old King Cole, so then I just turned into OldKingCake.
Nice.
When I was a kid, I was Old King Canada for a long time.
You know, I applaud that origin story. That's great.
Thanks, man. I'm glad it's not like a Batman villain origin story. That's all I ask for.
I mean, Cake and Violence sounds like it could be, but like
it does, right?
Yeah, the Adam West Batman, the super old one way back.
Yeah.
Where villains were like Crayola.
The terrifying duo of Cake and Violence.
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. I forgot. I was going to bring this up right off the top. Al Val, is that a stage name, or is that just straight up your name?
My real name is Algis Vita Santanas Valilis. So,
holy shit. So yeah. For brevity then.
Yes. Hey, nice goal, man.
Thank you. I felt so good about that. I was like bouncing it right off the side, just dribbling.
Oh, shit.
Like
Deep right between them.
That's Cristiano Ronaldo over here.
Fuck yeah, man.
So is that Spanish then?
Lithuanian.
Lithuanian.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, that's my full name with the middle names. So my real name is Algis Valulis or Algis Valulis in the English pronunciation. Oh, that's a beauty. Get out of here. So like people can't say
that's a mouthful for sure.
Yeah. So even Valulis. It was going to be Al Valulis for a while.
Mm-hmm. I
was thinking about changing it just to a moniker, you know? Because my first name is Algis, Algis. That's fun. That's goofy. Algis.
Oh, so you would just go on stage like, welcome to the stage, Algis?
Yeah.
Cool. And so then you settled on Al Val?
Yeah.
It's so good. I remember you got booked on, the first time I met you, you got booked on a friend of mine's show. And he was like, I was like, who's headlining? He's like, Al Val. And I was like, what a fucking name. That's such a good name.
Really?
I love it. I'm very into snappy names. It comes from wrestling too. I'm very into snappy names that have some kind of brevity to them.
Okay.
Because Al Val just sticks. Like you watch it on TV and it's like, oh, Al Val. Oh yeah. You heard of Al Val?
That's true. That's true. And those were my initial intentions too, partially. But I mean, I guess I'm over it now, but at the very beginning, I was like, oh, so many people are gonna be like, oh, you just make a rhyming name? What are you, a clown? Like, kind of, actually.
Yeah. It's all about getting noticed, right? Like, if I go to a random bar and they have comedy, 10 of them are going to be named like Sean and John and whatever, right?
True.
Al Val, it's going to stick out, and you're going to be like, well, who's Al Val? I think it's a great name. I can't believe that you had any kind of doubt about that.
It was early insecurities, right?
For sure. I get it.
And like, this is the thing, if you listen too much to other jaded purist comics, it's going to turn you into one of them. And there are so many comics who have all these fucking rules. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, we got into this to avoid those rules. to not play by them.
Okay.
But you hear so many comics being like, he's not a real comedian. He doesn't do the setup punchline. And they're like, this is comedy, man. It can be anything.
What's give me like what are like the 5 purest rules of comedy?
Never wear shorts on stage. That's one of the first ones. What is it? Have a showcase. Have a showcase 5 ready at all times, I guess, would be another one.
Okay. And that's just 5 minutes. That's like your best 5, right? 5 minutes? Okay.
Boop. Boop. What else? I mean, I know the shorts rule is something that it's a pretty old school rule, but I think a lot of young comics would. What's that?
I've never heard that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think I wore shorts on stage like my second show.
I say do it. Fuck, who cares? Wear what you want. This coming from a guy who wears like dresses and heels and wigs and shit. But wear whatever the fuck you want, man. It's so arbitrary when you really boil it all down. Like, what does anybody care that you're wearing fucking shorts?
Ooh.
That was nice.
That was a good setup for them. That was crazy.
I guess, I mean, the argument is that the stage is a sacred place. And
oh, so it's like a respect thing.
Yeah, and while I agree with that up to a point, it can be a sacred space of creation and vulnerability and all these amazing, beautiful things. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. A lot of people just pantomime jerking off on stage. So let's not be too holier than thou. You know? Did I just take your goal away from you?
No, you set me up perfectly and I just wasn't ready.
Oh, I overcommitted.
You had a beautiful setup and I boosted to get into. That's interesting because it's true. I wonder, where do you think the line between where that stands? Because comedy is obviously like a performance art, and a lot of performance art comes from that area of like respect and things like that. But it's true. I mean, comedy is probably the most vulgar performance art there is, right?
Yeah.
Or one of them at
surely.
least.
Yeah.
Where do you think that line is between respect and like going out in a suit and jerking off and using the microphone to, you know, to jerk it off? Like you say, who cares if you're wearing shorts, right? Where do you think that line is?
That's a good question. Boop.
That's a good question, Cole.
Where is the line? I mean, why does there even need to be a line? I'm not sure I completely understand the question, actually.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is so you say so you said that comedy is all about breaking rules and being kind of rebellious, and comedians are, to a point, I guess, kind of misfits of the performance world. So when it comes to respect, like, how much do you have to respect the art form, and how much is it about like creativity, rebellion, stuff like that to you? Ooh.
Oh man, that would have been so beautiful.
Ooh.
But it still is. Can you repeat the question? The last part of the question one more time.
Where does respecting the art form and the craft begin, and where does it end, and where does being allowed to be, you know, free and do whatever you want begin for you? Is there a line? Do you think there should be, you know, that kind of hardened respect? I
think, bam, get the fuck out of here. I think the line begins and ends when it involves other people. Like, the shorts thing, who are you fucking hurting? Like, honestly, the sanctity of the stage, it's not like George Carlin even believes in an afterlife enough that he's rolling in his grave because fucking Cole Sauer wore shorts on stage the second time he performed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not affecting anybody. Oh shit, my bad. That was yours.
No, that was
my
perfect.
Bad.
No, because I think I had a shitty angle. I think we perfect.
Let's see. Let's take a look at this.
We kissed and the ball went in.
No, you had an angle. That's my bad. Now that we have the lead, I'll back off again.
No. You're such a... It's funny you were talking about, like, coming off as an angry asshole. You're such a nice dude. Like, we're just playing a video game. You're like, oh, man, I want you to be able to have some cool moments, too.
Well, for real, though, because I don't know. This is casual. I'm obviously pretty experienced at this game.
Hey, that's why we're playing the game that you wanted to play.
Why don't we play something you want to play?
No, I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time.
All right. Oh boy,
Oh my God,
we made them
forfeited.
forfeit.
I didn't even know that was an option.
There you go. Oh yeah, but back to my point before I lose it. I think honestly, the line is crossed when it starts affecting other people. So things like respect for the veteran comedians, and like respect for stage time. Like if you're supposed to do 12 minutes and you do 20, and like you're making the show worse for the people after you. You're making it harder on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the line is, where you start to actually affect the other comics trying to do their jobs too. Like if you go up there wearing shorts, who are you hurting?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly. So that's my opinion on the whole thing. And then, going up and talking about jerking off shit, maybe there's an argument to be made for, like, if you go to a really dirty, filthy place in the show and it kind of makes it harder for a clean comic working after you, maybe I'll consider it. But at the same time, it's like, if they're the headliner, they should know how to adapt. They should be the pro that they've been hired to be,
mm-hmm.
and do your fucking job. Make people laugh. Who cares about everybody else? That's my opinion.
So what's the biggest faux pas that you can say for a new, if there's a new comic starting out listening to this, they want to wear shorts because Val said they could. What do you think's the biggest faux pas?
From Val's lips directly?
From Val, a quote that I will use to advertise the show and get us all kicked out of the pizza.
Ooh, biggest faux pas. Telling anybody they suck, I guess. I don't know. That's a shitty answer, but it's still true. Like competing, it's hard not to compete. It's hard not to compare.
Right.
Of course. But like, if you're new, surely you have to understand how hard it is to get your feet off the ground, to get your first few laughs. It's a hard skill. It's a hard industry. So just be patient with the people around you, the new and the old. I don't know. That's kind of I feel like that's a cop-out answer.
No, that's a perfectly fine answer, I think. Like, so just being like respectful and mindful that, everyone's kind of in the same boat fighting for the same bucket, but we don't have to be, hurting each other about it. Yeah. I'm with that. I think it's a very cool outlook, especially from someone, that could easily be considered a veteran, like we said, 14 years, and still having that outlook is very cool. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess there are a lot of jaded, older, I say, older comics out there.
More experienced.
It's true. Thanks. Thank you.
I mean, thank you.
I feel like I should. I need to. I'm going to reflect on that after this.
Oh man.
Because now I'm seriously considering, like, if there's a better piece of advice out there that I can give.
Hey, I'm glad that I've. Oh shit. Did I get
it? We got it. We're good.
It.
Little love
that in, brother. Oh,
cheeky.
Look at this. I'm back in the game. Where the fuck's the ball? Oh, there it is. Oh, I love stopping right in front of the ball. I feel like it's probably like an awful strategy. I just think it's so funny.
Oh, that's going. Oh.
Oh.
That goalie's a wall. Do you remember? You said, how old are you again? 20.
I'm 24. Well, I'm turning 24.
I guess you didn't. Were you kind of in the N64 era?
Oh, yeah, N64 was my first console. Sick.
Did you ever play or own Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey?
Oh my God, no! I had a friend who did. My neighbor had because we had all our sports games were on the Sega Genesis. I don't know if you ever had a Sega Genesis.
No.
All my sports games were on there. So Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey.
Yeah. So it was this arcade style 3-on-3. If you threw a check on somebody, they would do like a triple backflip in the air. They would go flying. Super satisfying, really, really fun game. And the announcer was hilarious because if the goalie would save like 3 in a row or something like that, if he saved a bunch in a short amount of time, he would literally turn into a brick wall for a second. And then the announcer would go, "That goalie's a wall." So I will never forget that. Finish it, Cole. Oh, nice try. We're good. There you go, double back.
Did you ever play NBA Jam? It sounds like NBA Jam to me.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It is like a hockey version of NBA Jam, for sure.
And I adore NBA Jam. That's like honestly probably one of my favorite games to just pick up and play.
I feel like I missed out on NBA Jam big time.
It's so fun. Oh, and you can play as Bill Clinton. It's great.
Can you actually?
Yeah, there's a code. There's a few funny codes. One of them is Bill Clinton. I think you can play as like Bush Sr. And
that's
like,
hilarious.
So you can change one of them. So you can be like, it's like your team will be like Charles Barkley and Clinton.
Oh, I was gonna say, is Clinton's partner Lewinsky?
Could you imagine?
That'd be so funny.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Now playing for the Chicago Bulls, Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you ever have an NES growing? What was your first console? Was it 64 or oh shit?
Yeah, 64. I was a Nintendo guy. My family, but like not that. There you go. And yeah, 64, first console. Super Mario and Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey were my first games.
Beautiful.
Other than Game Boy, I had a Game Boy, but I don't know if that counts.
I mean, I'd count it, but I always say that the first console is the one you had the most connection with. Like my brother had an NES and a Sega Genesis, which I played a lot, but like my first console was 64. Because that had like GoldenEye and Pokemon Stadium and like all the games that I associate with my childhood.
Yeah. Pokemon Stadium was sick.
Oh my god, it's so good. You ever played Pokemon Showdown?
No.
So they have this, it's a browser game, and basically someone, I don't know who runs it, but these guys made a website that functions like Pokemon Stadium. So they have like every Pokemon that exists in the universe, every item, every move, like you can make a totally custom team. Oh no, we're going into OT.
Oh, look at me whiff on this.
Oh no.
Ah.
Oh, you're so close too. What a highlight that would have been.
Oh,
that's
cool.
Oh, it's so much. Me and James O'Hara, we play it all the time. And they have all these like random things you can set up. So they have like random where like you and the other guy will have teams comprised of one type of Pokemon. So like you'll be like a fire team and he'll be like a grass team.
That's cool.
Super cool. Super duper cool. Every time I play it, just reminds me of playing Pokemon Stadium.
Okay, I gotta write that down.
It's so good.
What's it called again?
Pokemon Showdown. You can literally, you go on your browser. You don't have to sign up for anything.
Crazy. Do I need to download?
No download. It's all browser.
Oh boy, this is how it ends, boy.
You just click it in.
That's cool.
It's very cool.
Oh.
It's okay. Oh, it's less than K.
Oh no, I
less than K. Oh.
Good. You idiots. Oh, thanks for the cheese. Nom 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 nom.
Beautiful. Oh man. Okay, so we've talked a lot while playing Rocket League. Incredible video game. I got 2 more questions, and then I want to hit what I call the lightning round at the end.
Cool.
So, first of my last 2 questions, what's the favorite bit you've ever done? Or the first bit you ever wrote?
Oh, I have to pick one of these?
You can choose whichever one you think is more interesting, or whichever one comes to your mind first. Because I know some people can't pick a favorite. It's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite bit is Bike Cop, but it's more interesting to say, like, I'm a very high energy, kind of ranty style, but that very first set at Rockwater Barbecue and Grill, at the time I was really into Mitch Hedberg. And when you start out, the best you can do is a cheap imitation of your favorite comics, right? So my first, we're playing the same guys.
Are we?
My very first set, that's going in. My very first set, no, it's not, was I did just non sequiturs, one-liner, Mitch Hedberg style. And I bombed, obviously, but that was kind of what I was going for. And I wish I could remember a joke. Oh, there was one joke that I still pull out very occasionally.
Okay.
Because I think it's fucking dumb and cheesy. And it's about how Gwyneth Paltrow has a kid named Apple. Nice goal, by the way.
Thank you so much.
And it's basically, I like come up with a whole bunch of Apple puns. I'm like, I would make fun of her all through her life. If Apple ever climbed a tree and slipped and fell, you'd probably find that Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. She'd probably be a bruised apple at that point. If Apple ever got drunk, she'd be apple sauce. If Apple ever got high, she'd be a baked apple. If Apple ever got really high, she'd be apple crisp. If Apple ever blew you, she'd be apple bobbing. If Apple ever got an STD, she'd be a crab apple. Like, I think I covered all of them.
I think that's fucking hysterical.
I'm
the easiest laugh in the business, but I think that's fucking so funny.
I mean, you didn't have to preface it with the easiest laugh in the business thing. Thanks for ruining my ego there,
hey,
Cole.
no problem. I'm building you up to tear you down. That's what I'm.
Yeah, that was great.
It's like the military. This podcast is just a military training regimen for comics.
You should call this Backhanded Compliments with Cole Sauer.
Oh, that's episode 2. That's the bonus Patreon only part of the show.
There we go. Walk it in, buddy.
The swerve, the deeks. Oh man, it is so satisfying getting a goal in this game.
Look at that. Yo, you deked him too.
That was insane.
I'm gonna top him. What a save.
Okay, so you said your favorite. You said your favorite bit was Bike Cop. Explain Bike Cop. Hit me with Bike Cop.
Without giving too much away.
Yeah.
It's a bit about how the bike cops in Toronto are very overzealous. They take their jobs way too seriously because they're overcompensating for the fact that they're just rolling around out there like a bunch of cutie pies. And then it ends with this hypothetical scenario that I act out in which, like, it's your classic chief calls the rogue cop into his office to reprimand him.
Oh, okay. But they're like a bike cop?
Yeah. And so, there are lots of bike cop specific jokes, but it's all under that whole trope that's like, you can't tell me what to do, chief. I don't do things by the book, The
loose cannon bike cop on the edge.
Yeah, the loose cannon bike cop on the edge. Perfect. Great. I love doing it. I love doing it because everything about that trope, I've always been a huge fan of the give me your badge.
Give me a gun and your badge, Johnson.
I love that shit. I think it's so overdone and hilarious.
So are you so what's your favorite cop movie?
Oh, good question. I haven't answered this.
Because I love like 90s cop movies.
Yeah. I mean, I finally saw Die Hard for the first time like a few months ago.
No way.
Yeah. And I adored it. It is a fucking awesome movie. It lives up to the hype for me.
So good. I love Die Hard. Where do you stand vis-a-vis Die Hard as a Christmas movie?
Yes, it certainly is.
Okay.
It is a Christmas movie.
My man.
Sure. You agree?
Oh, yeah, of course. Me and my mom used to watch it every Christmas together.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
Oh,
Oof.
Man. You ever watch, speaking of Mel Gibson, you ever watch Lethal Weapon? I'm just blowing these dudes up. I'm like not even trying to play the game anymore.
I have. Yeah, let's just fuck around. We've got a 2-goal lead.
Ah, yeah, I'm chilling. Oh, beautiful. What a save. What a save.
What a save. That's my substitute for just going pound.
That's the Rocket League equivalent of teabagging.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I haven't seen Lethal Weapon.
Really?
Nope.
Oh man, Lethal Weapon 2 is that's my favorite 90s cop movie.
Nice.
Because the climax, it's so over the top, but by the time you get to it, you're so invested. You're just like, oh, God, I want them to win. These bad guys, the bad guys are so cartoonishly evil, and like the situation they're in is so ridiculous that by the end of it, you're just like, yeah, buddy, let's do it. I'm here for the ride.
Nice.
Oh man,
You recommend?
highly, honestly, like. So I have a VHS player. I don't have a DVD player other than like my PlayStation, but I do have a VHS player. And one of the few VHSs that I stole from my parents when they moved out was Lethal Weapon 2, because I was like, this bad boy's coming with me. It was like,
I hope your parents don't listen to this.
it was like Disney movies, the first Pokemon movie, Lethal Weapon 2. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh man.
I remember seeing the first Pokemon movie in theaters.
My brother saw the first one in theaters, but I got to see the second one in theaters. That was our trade-off. So he got the cool. Did you remember getting the cool? They gave you like a Pokemon card.
I don't really remember.
I think when you saw the first movie, that you got like a Pokemon card that you that like wasn't usable. It was like a bunch of runes or something.
No, I don't really remember.
He had that, and I remember I was like so excited to go to Pokemon 2000. I was like, I can't wait to get like my special Pokemon card, and they didn't give one out. I was so upset.
That's so sad. That is a truly tragic story.
Okay, so I'm gonna exit out of the queue up only because we're gonna do a little something that I'm calling the lightning round.
Okay.
So I'm going to put 1 minute on the timer, on the clock.
Shit. All right.
I'm going to ask you as many this or that questions as we can get through in 1 minute. And it will discover whether we are compatible as best friends.
Oh God. Okay. Let me hydrate.
All right. I'll hydrate too. We'll do this. Hydration break. Okay. So, are you ready, Alva? I've already forgot. I was going to make a bit out of saying your full name. I've already completely forgotten
it. I dare you to try.
Valgius was the last name, right?
Yeah, close.
He gets there.
Okay. Should I I feel like I need to look into your face for this.
Look
so
into
I may
my
just
eyes.
Yeah, I may just exit out of for a second. Okay.
Okay. I got a pen ready to make sure I get all these answers. We got a minute on the clock.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Cooking or takeout?
Cooking.
Pokemon or Digimon?
Pokemon.
Sushi or pho?
Sushi.
Pizza or Chinese?
Chinese.
Warm or cold?
Warm. Yes. Warm 100%.
Movies or TV?
Fucking TV, man.
Gaming or reading?
Gaming.
Gaming. Mario or Sonic?
Mario.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel. Love Marvel. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Harry Potter or Twilight?
Oh, neither. Harry Potter.
Damn, neither. Interesting. Okay. Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Beatles. Tough call for Beatles.
Metallica or Megadeth?
Metallica. I don't know a lot of Megadeth.
Cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Ooh, computer games or video games? What the fuck?
Console. Video games.
Cool. And that is our time.
Did I finish under? I finished under, baby. I was whip sharp on that.
Quick with it, he is. Damn.
Some of these, I mean, cats and some of these are visceral. I tried tapping into that visceral response.
The visceral response. Okay, let's get some math going here.
Yeah.
1.
I need to listen to more Megadeth. I know.
Honestly,
just because
I used to get in wars in high school because I'm a Megadeth guy. I used to get in wars in high school about Megadeth versus Metallica.
Yeah. I mean, that one I feel like you can disqualify that one because I can't speak from a place of knowledge.
Okay. Hey, it's all good, buddy.
I've heard enough about like how the guitarist from Megadeth was one of the original guys in Metallica, and then went off to do his own band. And I hear what a genius he is.
Metallica people love bringing up like, oh, Dave Mustaine was in Metallica, but then they kicked him out because he was too much of an asshole. And I'm like, I feel like that's probably not how that went down. But I mean, maybe.
These things are always way more complicated than
exactly.
We know nothing. Like, you're going to trust the opinion of some guy who was listening to them in grade 5 that he knows what their situation is?
Yeah, exactly. It's like why do you presume to know the inner workings?
Yeah. Beatles and Stones, by the way, not to distract, but every once in a while, my roommate and I will do this musical showdown night where we pick 2 bands. And then it's kind of like, it's not an exact science how we pick song versus song. Basically, usually it's like we pick the top 5 to 7 choices on Spotify for both bands. You know what I mean? The most views or clicks or whatever.
Okay.
And we'll have these songs from these 2 bands show down against each other, and we'll vote our favorite song. And then the winner has, more wins, more big internet points. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we showed down the Beatles and the Stones.
Okay.
Like, we listened to the songs, then we personally vote for which song we prefer. And then the winner is the band that has more wins,
Yeah.
in the 1v1 song thing.
Okay.
So we did Beatles and Stones, and like, even as much as I love the Stones, the Beatles kind of routed them. It was like 6-1 or something like that. Yeah.
What's your favorite Beatles song?
Oh, I honestly think Twist and Shout. I know it's not one of their biggest, but I love the way it's Paul, right? Not John?
Yeah, I think it's
Paulson. Yeah.
Paul does all the fun ones.
Yeah. It's hard to choose. So many of their songs are brilliant, but like, I don't know. I love Obla Di Obla Da. I like some of their weirder, like more obscure songs.
Yeah,
not obscure, but like not their best known.
I'm a Norwegian Wood man myself.
Norwegian Wood?
Norwegian Wood. It's a song about John Lennon having sex with a hooker and feeling bad about it. It's real good. Real good.
Amazing. I'm gonna write this down. Pokemon Showdown in Norwegian
Norwegian Wood. Very good. It's very, very good. Okay. We've tabulated the results. I don't know if tabulated is a real word, but they used it on children's television a lot. We've tabulated the results. Val, we've had a great show here today. You have a lovely, in comparison to myself, you have a lovely 10 out of 16, which I think is pretty good. That's like what? Like a 70 or something? 70%? Bees that get degrees?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Everyone, I think our point here is proven. I would like to thank my new best friend, Val, for coming on the show. Let the people know where they can find you on the internet and what you got coming up.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter at @AlValComedy. I have, like I was saying, the CBC Gem taping. If you subscribe to CBC Gem, keep an eye out. July 17th is the announced date that my episode will be coming out. I'm really proud of it. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to show people. I've started streaming myself playing games too.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Plug it.
So look up The Emotional Gamer.
The Emotional Gamer.
Yeah.
That's on Twitch, right?
Yes, on Twitch.
Beautiful. I will make sure to follow. I'd also like to thank all of my best friends out there listening in the podcast world, however you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, share, subscribe, whatever you like to do. If you would like to get a question into the podcast for the next episode, make sure you either comment below or you can follow me at OldKingCake on all the social medias, DM me or post about it, and we'll make sure you get in the next show. Thank you all again. And remember, your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you next week.
Uh-huh.